exciting episode of Rick's Horror Review Show, Rick's Rated R Horror Review Show, where we review, of course, horror movies. And tonight's episode is a good one. Tonight's episode is a special one, because tonight's episode features demons, the Catholic Church, demonic possession, multiple demonic possession. Oh my goodness. Everything that is good about horror movies is featured in tonight's episode, because tonight we are going to talk about The Exorcist Believer. Believe it or not. Yes, Exorcist Believer, a movie I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. So, you know the format by now. We're going to talk about the things I liked. And then we're going to talk about the things I didn't like. And let me switch it up. Let's talk about the things I didn't like, because there's so many. I'm sorry, there's so few. And then we'll do an in-depth review of the plot. I guess an analysis. We're not experts. We just love this shit. And then we're going to give this fucking movie a rating. All right? So let's get started. Things I didn't like. Oh, my goodness. Almost nothing. Isn't that amazing? Don't you just fucking love when somebody makes a good fucking movie? Especially a really good horror fucking movie. It's not a dumb movie. They don't treat the audience as if we're idiots. They know we're fucking smart, because we are. We're a smart audience. We expect things. We expect smart characters. The characters are smart. But it's a fucking scary movie. So there wasn't much I didn't like. The one thing I didn't like, I'm going to leave it towards the end of the show, because it's near the ending. And that doesn't mean I didn't like the ending. I love the ending. There's just a certain element about the ending that just doesn't sit well with me. So let's move on to the things I liked. The Catholic Church. Yes, the Catholic Church is back, baby, in the fucking horror movies. You know the Catholic Church is in a movie. You know this movie, this review is already going to get at least 3 points. So we have the Catholic Church. But guess what? Oh my goodness, we have a fucking special guest appearance. It's not just the Catholic Church. We have Christianity. We have the Baptist Church. Holy mother of fuck. But that's not all, folks. No, that's not all. And that's not all. You also get some hoodoo. That's right. Hoodoo practitioners also make an appearance in this film. I've never seen anything like this. But we're not done just yet, because there's also Pentecostal Christianity. Yes, that's right. You have varying religious entities making an effort to dispel demons. And that's one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie. It is someone, when they were writing this movie, you know how I love being in a writer's room. And of course, Johnson comes up with the worst ideas. But sometimes, there's other writers in the room, like Garcia, like over there. So Garcia, why don't you let us know any ideas of, what you think? This is obviously a franchise that hasn't been utilized in a while, but people expect things from it. There is a certain pedigree that must be met because it carries the name The Exorcist. So what do you say, Garcia? Any good ideas from you? Yeah. What if we assembled like like an Avengers of religion, like religious Avengers. God damn it, Garcia, that's a great fucking idea, and I feel like that's what this is. The demons were just too fucking like demons, like Thanos. If you haven't seen Avengers Endgame, please go watch Avengers Endgame. Okay. So this is like, the assembling, Avengers assemble, religions assemble, because that's what this wound up being. It was a super team of religious leaders coming together to defeat a common enemy, and I fucking loved it. I drank that fucking Kool-Aid. Oh my goodness. And of course, as I just said, demonic possession, and that automatically means demons, and also mentions of hell. You put demons, demonic possession, the Catholic Church, the Christian Church, Baptist, Pentecostals, and hoodoo in one hoodoo in one fucking film. I mean, I'm stumped. I don't know what to say. They did such a great job. And those are just some of the really cool things that I really enjoyed. There's also cameos, which of course we'll get to in the story. I don't want to spoil them just yet. Cinematography wise, I thought this film was phenomenal. Great use of depth. in a horror movie, you always have like the foreground character and something's always lurking in the back or potentially lurking, or the idea of lurking in the background, right? Is someone watching the main character? Like we can just see him or them. That demon is it in view? I think I saw something out of the corner of my eye. They did do a really good job of using, death, not death as in dead, but depth. Depth. The word is depth. And obviously great use of the dark as well. The dark is an essential, my goodness, can't speak. Well, I can't speak tonight. I'm so excited about this film that the words don't even want to come out of my mouth. Well-lit dark shots. Tremendously lit dark shots, I think. Never too dark, but never too light. Like, you can't have a shot that is supposed to take place in the dark and it looks like, it's taking place not in the dark, because it's like, what the fuck, bro? Bro, the shot's supposed to be, like, super dark, but it's, like, not that dark. Could you, like, fix the lighting or something? And, well, they did a really good job with it. It's fantastic. Also, great makeup, as expected, right? I mean, that makeup from the original Exorcist film in '73 was like a standard, right, that you must have met. If you didn't meet that makeup, considering that film took place 50 years ago, I mean, you're doing something wrong, right, in the year 2023. No, but they did a really good job with the makeup. Terrific audio. It's just, it felt intense. It's gripping, and it wasn't overused. It wasn't like, like the music is or the sound effects are overpowering the visuals. Just such a well put together film. Honestly, well placed CGI. In a horror movie, I think, as in any movie nowadays, I think you could you can get into like this pitfall of using way too much CGI. Aquaman. And, and that's bad because it really ruins the illusion. And so in this movie, I felt like the CGI was there, but it was barely noticeable, if noticeable at all. There's just certain things that my brain's like, oh, that's cool. Well, that's cool. Well, that there's CGI, of course. But not that much. Not enough to complain about it. Not enough to put it in things I didn't like. Overall, just a really well put together film. So let's get into the story. Okay, the story is also phenomenal. I love the story as well. And again, this is The Exorcist Believer, spoiler full review. Don't forget, this movie just came out, but I'm gonna fucking spoil it for you. So if you don't wanna, if you don't want to, if you don't wanna know what happens in this movie, then get off the fucking boat right now, because I'm gonna talk about this story. So we start with a shot in Haiti. The main character, his name is Victor, and his wife, who happens to be pregnant, right? And one of the, either the first shot or the second shot, but one of the first shots in the film is his wife, Sorian or Serene. Oh my goodness, I can't remember her name. It's being, initially you think, well, it definitely looks like she's being blessed. She's being blessed by someone, I don't know enough. Voodoo practitioner, hoodoo practitioner, I don't really know. But she's being blessed by somebody. And then, a couple of shots later, the couple talking, and Victor has to leave to take some photographs or something, I don't really recall. And his wife stays behind in the hotel. Unfortunately, a massive, I think it's an earthquake or a tsunami, something is happening. And the building in their hotel in which they were both staying begins to collapse. Unfortunately, to make the long story short here, the wife doesn't escape the hotel, and she's found herself now in a situation where she's trapped under the rubble, and she's gravely or severely injured at this point. Unfortunately, next shot or two shots later, we see Victor and his wife again in the hospital, and the doctors are talking, and they're giving him a choice. He either chooses his wife, or he chooses his unborn child, which fucking sucks. And we don't know what he chooses until the next scene, which happens 13 years later, and they kind of tease it. I couldn't really tell. They show a hand, and it could have gone either way. Didn't know whether it was the wife or the unborn child, but it turns out that he chose the child. And now it's him and his daughter, and they're living in Percy, Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Percy, Georgia. I remembered. Anyway, they're just going about their lives as 13-year-old and her daughter or his daughter and Victor's daughter and his daughter. Oh my goodness. Victor and his daughter Angela, 13 years old. So 13 years after the event, after the Haiti earthquake, after he lost his wife. And, as it tends to happen in movies, as we saw in Insidious, but not actually a really good relationship here. Unlike Insidious, father takes daughter to school, daughter meets her friend, and, off they go. Eventually, though, during the school day, which, by the way, Angela was supposed to go and do something with her friend, Catherine, after school or something, and she promised that she would be back by dinner. This is important stuff. I gotta talk about it, okay? Have some patience, bro. It's just the story. You gotta go over the story. Anyway, who knows what they were supposed to fucking do? But the point is after school, you see there's shots of them going into wooded area. Ooh, this is where shit starts to get good. Where are they going? What's their plan? And then this is where I think the cinematography really starts to come into play. And I didn't talk about this, but they do such a good job of like subtle camera movements, which can be very unnerving. If you haven't seen the film, if you're gonna go watch it, like pay attention to the subtle camera movements. I love them. They're just just a slight pan, or just a slight tilt, or even just a very slow close shot. It's just drawing you to the character's face, or drawing your attention away from the background, because something's going to happen in the foreground. They do such a good job in this movie of doing all that. But anyway, they go off into the woods, and they find like this underpass or a tunnel. I don't know what. But they decide that they're going to start talking to spirits or some shit. And, the reason is because they're trying to contact Angela's mom, who obviously died in the Haiti earthquake. And so when she doesn't come home, she's supposed to be back by dinner. Well, obviously Victor starts to try to contact, Catherine's parents. We see scenes of, a search party, and they go and they find, it looks like they found a backpack. I think it might have been Catherine's backpack or Angela's backpack. But anyway, Catherine's parents are there. Victor's there looking for Angela and Catherine. And Victor stumbles upon that same underpass I just mentioned, and he finds her shoe. So they go to the authorities and all that good stuff, whatever, they don't initially find them, unfortunately. Then they bring a larger search party. There's scenes of them at the police station, and everybody's going, wow, where's my daughter? I reckon, you're going out there and find my daughter right now. You, what do I pay my taxes for? And, police ask for, in a moment like this, we must keep our calm. We must all keep our cool and remember our training. Now how you want to have your cool, Now you want to remember your training. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, there's like a 3-day manhunt. And unfortunately, they don't find him. And then there's just this, there's just another scene where they get found. And this doesn't serve any other purpose other than to show where the girls were, and they were found in a barn for some reason. And that's kind of it. So they're gone for 3 days. And then I must also say this. Angela's dad, Victor's not a religious person. Obviously, he reveals this a little later in the movie, but it's important to talk about it now, because I feel like it's important to talk about it now, because it's important to talk about it now. He's not a religious person. Catherine's parents are, and they're praying and hoping for her safe return. But obviously, Victor's a little more pragmatic. He's not a religious dude. He's a photographer, and so he's like analyzing pictures and trying to find clues and really being more of a detective and trying to find whereabouts. You see him go into I think a soup kitchen. For those of you who don't know what a soup kitchen is, now a soup kitchen there is a location where they don't just serve soup. They serve all the kinds of food too, but the primary goal of a soup kitchen is to feed the less fortunate. So Victor goes to a soup kitchen and he's asking, folks who are, homeless or in need of a free meal if they've seen her, and they're just kind of really nasty and mean to him, and he leaves. But anyway, no praying for him. Catherine's parents are praying. And long-winded story shorter, they find them in a barn. And this is really where it starts to get very scientific and very interesting, because the first thing that gets explored is science is used, right? Oh my goodness, science, religion in the same movie and in a good movie and not against each other. Amazing. So they find the girls and they take them to a hospital where they're just poked and prodded every which way, and trying to find out why they were gone for so long. And they're having any test that you could possibly make for somebody who could potentially have been abducted or potentially raped, and that sort of stuff is performed on them to make sure that they're okay and nothing is actually wrong with them. Unfortunately, we notice that the girls come back with burned feet. Not then. What the hell? Oh, that I reckon there be burned feet now, ain't there? So the girls come back with burned feet, and of course the religious parents, Catherine's parents, are like, well, it's like totally walking on like hell's floor because it's so hot. That's why the feet are burned like that, right? Victor's not buying that shit because, again, he doesn't believe in any of it. But anyway, they believe, or Catherine's parents believe, that they have been to hell. There's some story that I think, what did Catherine's mother say? That Jesus rose after the third day, and they were found after the third day. So it kind of feels like she's reaching a little bit, like trying to put two and two together to fit her narrative of where she might have been. But, anyway, it doesn't really serve any purpose at this point. Anyway, they start showing like signs. This is the point of the movie where you start to see some fucking crazy shit start to happen. That's my demon voice, by the way. And while they're in observation, you start to notice strange things start to happen. And, their faces don't quite look like 13-year-olds anymore. Starting to see a little bit of that good makeup I was talking about. It's like, ooh, looks angry, looks scary. But is it a demon or is it a 13-year-old girl who is hungry? Or is it both? Anyway, good makeup at this point. They just really can't tell whether they're just, disheveled a little bit, disheveled a little bit, disheveled. I don't know. But the makeup is good, and you're really starting to get a glimpse of, what's happening to them. Anyway, they behave strangely in the hospital, right? They both start to, like pounding on glass or like their heart rate is too high, or the temperature meter, also known as a thermometer, isn't registering, and that sort of stuff, right? Anyway, the conditions just keep getting worse and worse and worse, and this is where another character that we saw earlier, her name is Aunt Lydia, but in this, if you've seen A Handmaid's Tale, the actress, great job in this movie as well, great acting. She happens to be a nurse who is now also in charge of Angela at this point, and this is where the demon starts to play demon games. It's welcome to the Demon Show. And starts to play games with the nurse, and the nurse, who is revealed to now have actually hasn't been revealed at this point, or it might have been. I don't fucking remember. This is off the top of my head. Point is that the nurse once considered becoming a nun. And unfortunately, I think something happened when she got pregnant. I don't know how that happens. And she got pregnant, and she obviously abandoned that idea of becoming a nun, so she just became a nurse. She'd never told anybody this. This is like her deep, dark secret. And of course, the demon knows. I know your secret. I know you wanted to be a nun. And that you had an abortion. I know that. You've never told anyone, but I know. And she's like, whoa, what the fuck, dude? Like, that's fucked up. And anyway, because of this experience, she goes and she goes back. She goes and she goes. She goes and she goes. She goes to talk. Oh my goodness. She goes talk to Victor about her experience. And she's like, whoa, fucking demon. Just, and this is where she reveals to Victor all this stuff I just mentioned. And then gives him a book. Oh, whose book is it? Well, it happens to be a book by Chris McNeil. If you don't know who Chris McNeil is, she is Reagan's mother from the original Exorcist. So gives him a book. And it's like, hey, you should read this shit because there's some shit that's been happening that looks pretty similar to what happened in this book. And he doesn't buy it because he's not like, yeah, fuck this. I don't believe in any of this bullshit. But weird shit continues to happen. More weird shit continues to happen to Chris. I'm sorry, not to Chris, to Victor. And eventually he's like, you know what? Fuck it. He saw, like, I think he saw some words on, like, or he remembers seeing words on Angela's leg that happened to be also, part of the book that Chris had written. And at that point, he puts 2 and 2 together because, again, he's a fucking smart character, pragmatic, and he's like, oh, fuck, maybe she is possessed. So he goes and visits Chris, who's, like, retired somewhere in the beachside, and it's cool. And then this is, bartender, another drink, please. They have a couple drinks and they talk about that shit, and of course they don't speak, her and her daughter Reagan, again being the character from the first movies from 50 years later, because some shit happened. I guess it's just too fucking well known of an author now. I don't really follow that part. I think they don't speak anymore because she became too famous and they just didn't want to be bothered anymore. That's what I understood from this point. Anyway, she agrees to help Chris because of what she agrees to help Victor because of what she mentioned he's seeing in his own daughter, and she's like, all right, fuck it, I'll go. We'll go see Angela, and then we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up, homie. I got you. I got your back, homie. Don't worry about it. We good. And that's what they do. They go see Angela in the hospital, and clearly Angela. Oh, and by the way, when a movie, I don't have to bring this up. I'm not susceptible to the old jump scare. Call it a fucking gift from the Almighty himself. Lord Jesus. But I'm not susceptible to the jump scare for some reason. It's like like when you're not afraid of the roller coaster ride. Like I can feel I can feel it coming. I do get them. I'm not saying I'm impervious to them. I'm just saying I'm not susceptible to them. This fucking shot got me, and I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But this movie, one point, because it was such a fucking perfectly placed jump scare, and it fucking got me, and I loved it, and I was laughing the entire time because it was so good. Wait, back to the story. Anyway, Chris is helping Victor. His daughter's Angela's in a hospital, mental institution at this point now, and they're like, whoa, that's fucked up. She's definitely possessed. Let's go see the other girl. So they go to the other girl's house, Catherine, and the religious folks are super disheveled. The house is a piece of shit now. It's like no one's paying attention. I think they get there, and the 3 girls are praying, the mother and the 3 daughters are praying, and the father's just like outside. And these folks are the Protestant. This is the Protestant family. So Catherine's family is a Protestant family, and Victor's family is, I guess, agnostic, or not really, no real religious affiliation. But anyway, they go see Catherine, and some shit happens, right? The house is trashed, and like, oh, Victor's like, what's going on here? Why's your house trashed? And in the meantime, Chris goes to see Catherine. Ooh, and this is like, oh man, this is like, now Chris is like 1-on-1 with the demon. And, shit starts to get down, it starts to get scary, and the music starts to change, and this is a really good exchange between her and the demon's just talking shit. By the way, I love demons that talk shit. They're like playful motherfuckers, but they talk shit. Oh, good Lord, I love it. And Chris is like, you gotta leave this body, baby. This body ain't yours. This is a girl's body, a little girl's body, and you need to leave it. The demon's like, is that right, motherfucker? You telling me what to do? You telling a demon what to do? I'll fucking show you. So you know what this fucking demon does that's possessing Catherine's body? Grabs. God. Religious folks, help me. Lord Jesus, help me. What's the name of this device? A cross. Oh my goodness. Grabs a cross. Jesus on a cross. Grabs there's another name for it. Oh my God. Grabs a Jesus on a cross and stabs Chris in the eyes. Both of them. Take that. Ha! One eye and the other eye. Ho! And takes both of her eyes, and now fucking Chris is blind. And the fucking demon's laughing all the way to the fucking bank and holds on. Oh, and by the way, completely missed something so important. Oh my goodness, I love this too. As she's entering the room, you know what this fucking demon is doing? Oh, what's the demon doing? Oh, creepy. Nah, you know what this fucking demon is doing? Reading the fucking Bible. Oh, Lord Almighty. I love that shit. They're just like, just what a fucking demon, right? Anyway, her eyes get gouged out with the crucifix. And obviously Victor comes in and rushes to the hospital and whatnot, but she's fucking blind at this point. And at this point, now Victor's like, fuck this shit. We got to do something about this. So he goes and actually, it's not him. I don't remember if it's him or if it's, it might have been the nurse. Somebody reaches out to the fucking big guns, baby. The Catholic motherfucking church. That's right. And then we have a scene of a bunch of priests discussing this. And, they're like, hey, we got some fucking demons. They got to be exorcised, yo. Who's going to step up? You. What about you? Yeah, I'm in, baby. Let's do this. I got my shit ready. I got my fucking demon exorcising shit right here in my book. I got my little scarf that has a special name for this shit. I'm ready to go, baby. I got my holy water. I got my Jesus on the cross. Fuck this demon. I walk in there like a fucking boss and be like, fuck you, demon. This is the Lord's house, motherfucker. All right? You better step out. Leave that body. And that's exactly what happened in that scene. And the Catholic Church is considering whether or not a priest should be used for an exorcism. And this is where the religious Avengers start to come in. Avengers, assemble! The religious Avengers start to assemble. And this is where we get I think we saw a glimpse of her before, maybe I don't remember, but she's the hoodoo. She's Dr. the Hive, I think her name was. And she is, she's a healer, or she's just, that's hoodoo, my goodness. I don't recall exactly, but she is a religious leader in her religious discipline. All right? And they also reach out to a Baptist pastor who reminds me a lot of somebody like Joel Osteen. You know Joel Osteen? If you don't know who Joel Osteen is, he's like that guy from the super mega church. And, he has like hundreds of thousands of people sending him money for no reason. And, he's a pastor and, good for him and bad for the people who send that money. If you've never seen The Precious Gemstones, he's kind of like one of those characters. Anyway, they call him because he's the religious leader. And again, Cathleen's parents are Baptist. And then there's also somebody else. What's his name? Oh, good Lord. He's Victor's neighbor as well. We saw him earlier in the movie. He's also a preacher. I don't think he's Baptist. I've seen this movie once. Remember. He might have been Pentecostal. I think that's what it was. Anyway, the assemblers, the religious assembly, we're putting the band back together. And this is what got me so fucking excited. I'm like, holy fucking shit. They're putting together a fucking super religious team. Because these two fucking demons are too fucking much. Like, it's the Catholic Church is always shown to be like the fucking granddaddy of them all. Like, always has the power, right? Always has the power to exercise. And not this time around, baby. This is way too much. And I really, really like that. Anyway, they start to assemble the team. But guess what happens? I'll tell you what fucking happens. The father who they sent, his Maddox, I think, shows up at the house, this little fucker. And tells Anne, the nurse, is like, well, you know what? The Catholic Church believes quite sorry to tell you, but the Catholic Church believes that these daughters, or rather the girls, Victor's daughter and Kathleen, should be institutionalized. That's right. We don't believe an exorcism is appropriate. And Anne's like, what? Are you fucking kidding me? Father Maddox? You're full of shit, bro. Come on now. We need the big guns. We need the Catholic fucking church here. And Father Maddox is like, nah, he's not having it. And it looks like he's almost going to go and help, but he doesn't fucking help, So he just gives Anne, who, again, was in fact going to become a nun. He gives her, like, the exorcism book. And did he give her anything else? I think he gave her the exorcism book and maybe some holy water. And she's like, you can do this. I'm like, what? You little fucker. Like, scary little bastard. And by the way, I didn't mention this, but Father Maddox is way too young. I'm sorry, but he has like zero credibility in fighting demons. Well, I saw a demon in the textbook once, and, I read the chapter on exorcism, and I did pretty good on the quiz, and I passed that class with an A. Okay, so I know my exorcisms. All right? and like zero actual exorcism work. You know who they needed? The Pope's exorcist. Yes. No Pope's exorcist. You get Father Maddox, who's seen exorcism in books. He's heard about them, got an A in exorcism class, but's never actually seen one or performed one, much less. Anyway, he shows up and he's like, I'm not going to be part of this exorcism. It's going to have to be you. And I was like, fuck her. Fuck it. You know, and I was like, fuck it. I'm the Catholic Church. Now, I'm the captain now. So Anne becomes the Catholic Church representative, and the super team of fucking religions assembles in Victor's house. And, you know, and then everybody's like doing their thing and grabbing the religious artifacts, and everybody's putting shit on, that protection. And the hoodoo doctor is also doing her thing and putting water in the bathtub, and everybody's just doing their fucking rituals, right? And all the believers are doing their thing. And it's such a cool thing to see. I loved it. And then we get to, finally, you know, the exorcism. Oh my goodness, so good. And, well, they start. You know, they start with, you know, Anne starts reading from the Bible, and fucking demons don't like it. And then they start, Anne, stop reading that shit. Oh, you know, all that good stuff. They don't like it, and it goes on for a little bit, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's just kind of like a little back and forth, and the demons, and the demons like, fuck you, and your fucking Bible, and you know, and the good lighting, and good camera movements, and all that shit, and I'm not going to talk about all of that, because it's just the first round. It's Avengers Endgame Part 1. It doesn't work. God damn it. God damn it. Nothing worked. But it was just round 1. You can see how they leave the house and everybody's fucking tired. And it's like, fuck, these motherfuckers. God damn it. Anyway, they come back for fucking round 2. And, you know, and everybody starts joining in on the shit. Now the Pentecostal starts doing his fucking thing. The hoodoo doctor starts doing her thing. Starts doing her thing. The Baptist preacher starts doing his thing. Lord Jesus Almighty, let us live in peace. Get rid of these demons. Lord, please, I beg you. I am your child. These are your children. Love us. But it doesn't fucking work. And, you know, the demons are getting pissed and more pissed and more pissed. And the hoodoo shit is happening. And Anne's doing her thing. And it's just climaxing. And eventually the demon's like, you must choose one. Oh, fuck. And, you know, oh, my God. No, I forgot. No, it's not working. And Victor steps outside for a second for a cigarette smoked in between round 1 and 1-2. And guess who's fucking praying in his car? Fucking Father Maddox. Knocks on his window. And he's like, hey, bro, fucking fight's in there. You know, and again, in the middle of round 2, again, fucking Pentecostal and you know, and Dr. The Baptist person and the Pentecostal and Anne doing her Catholic thing. And the hoodoo doc is also doing her shit. And they're all doing their all fucking thing. And it's not fucking working. And just like fucking a superhero arriving at, you know, at the last fucking instance when you know they need that extra fucking oomph, Father Maddox steps into the box. And now batting for the Catholic Church, number 23, Father Maddox. And the crowd's going fucking wild, you know, because, you know, the father's here, the goddamn, you know, Catholic Church, yes, you know, and he starts doing his fucking thing, and he's got his rosary, and he's got a cross in the other hand. Oh, now I remember the name. And, you know, he starts doing his exorcism shit, and, oh, yeah, this is where the fucking tide is gonna turn now, motherfucker. Now it's on. Now you got the super team that's finally, you know, assembled. But they snap his fucking neck. Holy shit. He didn't want to go in because he's like, you know what? There's always casualties on both sides, and you know I'm going past. Sure enough, he was one of them. So they fucking kill him, and then again the demon's like, in order for this to end, you must choose one. There can only be one survivor. And everybody's looking at each other, and they can't choose. You know, who are you gonna fucking choose? You can't choose between one girl or the other fucking girl. That's fucked up. But Kathleen's dad, who by the fucking way, hasn't been in doing shit. Everybody's doing their thing, or at least helping, wiping somebody's forehead, you know, looking at the fucking demon with some crazy eyes, being like, I'm not afraid of you, demon. Fuck you. This fucker's like outside, just like waiting for shit to happen, not helping out at all. And from the outside, I guess he's like, or he came in, I don't fucking remember, but he hears the demon say, you know, that you gotta choose. I'm like, I choose Kathleen. Fuck her. And we all think that he chooses Kathleen to die, right? Or rather to live and fuck Angela, you know? Fuck your daughter, I'm gonna keep mine. And then the demon starts doing fucking demon things, and you know, in his desperation, Victor grabs his daughter Angela and untethers her from the chair that she was strapped in the middle of, you know, the device that's used for the exorcism, and is telling her, which by the way, I teased this earlier. He chose his wife over his daughter when he was given the choice. And this is me just reading into this, and I think this is part of the story, but I feel like the demons possessed these two girls because they felt unwanted, or, you know, there was some reason why they were not, you know, desired, or, you know, they became susceptible to possession, not just because, you know, they were trying to call the spirits earlier in the movie, but because, you know, I think Angela maybe wasn't wanted. Obviously, Victor had chosen his wife over her. And I think Kathleen was on the same boat, because when she was being exorcised, I think her, you know, sometimes the person actually comes through in the body, and the demon subsides a little bit, and she's like, I want my dad. And I feel like this entire time she was also neglected. And I feel like the demons possessed them because they were neglected in some way or another. And anyway, the demons, now they're just, you know, exorcism failed. Now the father has chosen Kathleen finally. And, you know, they start going fucking crazy. Angela's is levitating, and Victor grabs her, and he's like apologizing to her for not choosing her. Obviously, he was in love, and you can understand it's a fucking difficult. Who chooses, right? Like, what a fucking tough. Who can fucking choose that? And who's going to, you know, blame him for choosing either way? But he's apologizing to his daughter. Obviously, he fucking loves his daughter. He's doing everything he fucking can to make sure that she survives and she's alive. And at the end of it, she lives. I think what happened was, you know, the other one was cursed to die. She was chosen to die over Angela. I think that's the fucking demon again, being a fucking sneaky motherfuckers. And Kathleen dies, and Angela survives, and ritual over. And then you see, you know, a scene when you see actually, and this is part of the ending that I didn't like. This is horrible. It's so fucking heartbreaking. Kathleen, you know, back in that underpass or tunnel I mentioned where they summoned the spirits, and she's lost and calling out to her mom, and then she falls in water and she gets pulled under as if she was damned to hell. And that was such a tragic fucking scene. I mean, you're happy that Angela survived, but you cannot neglect the fact that this poor girl is calling out to her mother, and she's been damned to hell by her fucking greedy father. It's so well written. Like, it's I can't dislike it. It just made me sad. You know, I just want a fucking good ending. You know, I want everybody to go fucking home happy. God damn it. I want a good ending. And it kind of spoiled it for me a little bit, because it's like, okay, well, one girl survived and one didn't, and well written. I must say that well written, well executed. I'm sorry for myself for not liking that kind of shit. But what a great story ending. Anyway, exorcism is over. Police lights, sirens, a new day has dawned. And the ritual is over, and everybody goes back to, you know, the pre-exorcism, or rather pre-possession state that we saw at the beginning of the movie. Father dropping off his daughter at school. And then there's another scene I mentioned. What do we see? By the way, I also neglected Chris. She was very underutilized. She was in like a couple of scenes. After she has her eyes gouged out, she's in a hospital. Well, guess who visits her in the hospital? Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Blair. Linda Blair, ladies and gentlemen, please come on in. Yes. Linda Blair shows up in this movie. She does a cameo as Reagan. And again, I think she's just been away because, you know, that shit just too much. But it's really nice to see, obviously, something for all fans of The Exorcist. Fan service, baby. I love it. What kind of service? Fan service. Well done, too. Not gratuitous. Well done fan service. And again, then we go back to a scene of Angela in her classroom. And, of course, her friend Kathleen is missing. And then the camera looks, and she breaks the fucking fourth wall. And Angela looks straight at the camera. Oh, my God. And it's over. It's all over, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over. And the movie ends just like that. Wow, what a fucking ride. Somebody screamed in the audience. Might have been me. Yeah, totally great movie. And you know what? Oh, my goodness. You guys ready for the rating here? 9 out of 10. What? You just spoke at length about loving this movie. How dare you? Yeah, I did. I loved everything about it. I really did. It's just I feel like maybe I'm just scared. Maybe I'm just scared of giving a movie a 10. I feel like there's already a movie in my mind that deserves a 10. And, you know, and this movie was so great, so great. I feel like I have to take off half a point for that ending that I didn't really like. But hey, you know, who's arguing? Godfather, The Dark Knight, these are all great films. You know, no one film is better than the other. And 9 is a great fucking rating for a great fucking movie. And you know what? If you're still here after having heard all of this shit about this fucking review, I really appreciate you. But that's going to do it for us because I think we've ran over. We're into overtime now. We're in extra innings. We're in penalty shootout. And that's it for me. What a great film. If you haven't seen this movie, fucking go watch it. Because if you don't, then, you know, they're going to come and possess you. Anyway, that is all for tonight's episode of Rick's Horror Movie Review Show. Rick's Rated R Horror Movie Review Show. Until next time, have a good night.